I mean, it depends, like if you're talking about, there's all kinds of different reserves. There's operating reserve. A lot of companies like want 3 to 6 months of just cash reserves. But it's just like 3 to 6 months of expected expenses.
There's nowhere to park.
I mean, there's all kinds.
I park in the employee lot, so I'd say it's a side.
You drive up, typically it incorporates.
He's got that, I figured I might as well take advantage of it.
For you to get that compact car in and out over there, it's some spots.
Oh, yeah, I don't park over here. No, that's like 18 back east, I guess. I did that one time, I said that. I like. They try to know that. I have to get source and I just like to be like a security that, hey, it doesn't want you in.
Probably
They would
use,
say, in. I fortunately I see my rights.
probably what I use.
That's
That's the interface. I have certified public accountants or the IRS and say, IRS say. Probably.
But once again, I'm like, first we just kind of look me right in. Didn't even have to put any effort into that.
And so, but did you hear about the, just the extra? That's bad.
Well, there's that. Yeah.
That just made my.
Lucky.
I said, I don't really know. I should ask. Now, I find myself doing this with my hands and I grind. Just so they can see both of them. They're all, don't pull me over, please. It was probably.
Yes, sir. She gets it off next Thursday. So.
And that meeting made me.
I was just thinking
That
about
was my last day. That was nice. And I'm gonna be named the dash for seven.
I've never blown.
Already got it.
Missed you.
I know you did. Me and your favorite friend. Sounds like that. No, we
We
don't.
did not speak about that.
You should have. I don't know.
We don't talk shop at home.
This isn't shop. It's public service.
Tim is on here, but he's gonna be walking in a few minutes. He was
We have 2 minutes.
stuck at some lights, so.
I apologize. Traffic is almost big city-esque here.
There's not enough spaces in this parking lot. If 5 more people came, where would they park?
We got parking on the side.
No, there's not. There's not parking. Where? Show me it after the meeting, because I can't find it.
Just loop around. It's right when you.
Where, dude? That's employee parking.
Right when you come in.
And I'm not trying to cause a scene. This is bad parking for a public meeting, especially how they're gonna get it.
Mr. Wagner,
Yeah.
Latif cannot join. She's running late at work.
All right, I'm gonna call some minute by after.
Should I?
NCA bus. If I think it's about, and I'm gonna bring them in here. And they're gonna be like, wow, I can't take this bus in the parking lot.
I don't know about Cheryl.
I just want to say, people working on taking their turn, they're like,
Nah.
she's, red lights are optional today.
Right? Pat, all that?
Yep.
If we rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Kim, roll call, please.
Mr. Berquist,
Here.
Ms. Stix,
Present.
Newton,
Present.
Mr. Hilliard,
Present.
Ms. Jones is absent. Mr. Pilatus,
Here.
Mr. Trot,
Here.
Mr. Wagner,
Here.
Mr. Willis.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kim. Did everyone get a chance to look at the minutes from the May 21st meeting? Yep. Any corrections, concerns? Hearing none, I need a motion.
So moved. Second.
Go ahead, Ken.
Ms. Dix?
Yes.
Ms. Walton?
Yes.
Mr. Hilliard?
Yes.
Mr. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Trot?
Yes.
Mr. Wagner?
Yeah, here.
Mr. Willis?
Yeah.
Mr. Bergman?
Yes.
Thank you.
If public comment, we're coming to public comment. If you'd like to speak, you need to sign in, and anyone that wants to speak, I hope you've signed in. And I have a statement regarding public participation. We thank all members of the public for coming to our meeting today. The Board of the Erie Water Works encourages members of the public to come to its meetings and present any communication of interest to the Erie Water Works. However, certain procedures must be followed in order to maintain the civility of this public meeting. Each speaker will have 5 minutes. The board secretary is timing each speaker, and when your time is concluded, please end your public comment. Further, this meeting is not a question and answer session, and members of the board may not answer any questions posed to them during the public comment period. The board chairman or solicitor will declare individuals out of order if the speaker strays from the topic or becomes slanderous or obscene. Those speakers declared out of order will be prevented from speaking further at the meeting. We thank you again for attending this meeting and look forward to your comments. And just one thing I want to clarify. We're approving a resolution, and I asked for comments. The comments are directed to the board members, not visitors. And because sometimes I saw just maybe a little confusion out there in the audience. So whoever signed in first is welcome to take their position.
Arthur Gilmer?
Okay, Art, the floor is yours and you have 5 minutes.
I was really concerned about my water bill that I received at 346 West 25th Street. I was unaware that when I came down and signed the paper to make a bid for every month to try to pay it and stuff, that I wasn't aware that it was every week. I thought it was every 3 months, like the water bill come out. So that's therefore, when I received this notice about I should have been at $2,169. And I said from December, from displaying 126, I thought that was not reachable because I was only paying 126 a month. I was told that I had to pay the amount that I had signed to request, the 126 plus the regular bill. But I went right after I left here, I went and paid the 126. And I hadn't received no bill, so I was waiting for the bill to come out, but evidently I must have been wrong by waiting for the bill. So that's how I got behind in the water. But then after I got the new bill, instead of 2,100, it was 3,100 for a shut off, which will be on the 22nd of this month. And I was real concerned because I have my 95-year-old father staying with me. And plus, I have some medical issues myself, but I was trying to pay that money, because I was real concerned about that. But I didn't know how I was to pay it. I thought it was every 3 months like the bill come out, but I wasn't aware that I guess I was supposed to pay it every week. Yes, that's the way I'm figuring out because of the way the bill is. They said when I came down here to talk to Josh again, it said that I should have been at $2,100, but just from February for paying 126. So that's why I said I must supposed to either pay double or triple. I don't know. I wasn't aware of how I was supposed to pay, but I guess I was supposed to pay every week, I guess. I don't know. But I'm a retired school person for 18 years, and I've been at this address 18 years. And this is the first time I ever received a shut-off notice for my water, because I just never have before. My bills were like 65, maybe the highest I got was $85 since I've been there. And I wasn't aware, nobody never called me to tell me that the meter was spinning. So I just kept coming down here and I kept saying, when is somebody gonna call me about this bill? They said, well, your meter is spinning and you're using enough water for 6 people. And I said, well, how is that? I said, because I'm the only one staying here. I might take 2 showers a week. When my nephew comes from New York, him and his wife might shower, for that week. But that's the only time my bathtub and stuff get used a lot, because it's hard for me to get in and out because I have problems with my spine and back. So I have to be where somebody can help me get in and out of the tub. So that was my concern. I don't have the money to pay no $3,000 because I only get like $947 for a pension, and I just don't have the money.
Sir, I mean, you certainly have a record, 18 years of living at that address. Did anyone say you had a toilet that was running, or?
They asked me, I had a toilet running, and they sent me 2 tablets in the envelope, and I have 2 toilets, one upstairs and one downstairs. So I put the tablets in the back, like they told me on the paper, and it turned the back blue. So I don't know, was it supposed to run down into the toilet? Because it never did.
I think if it was running, it would fill the bowl up with
It
glue.
would have filled up the bowl, right? That's what I took from reading the paper that they sent me, but it never did that. So I had a plumber come out and look at it. And I was like, well, I thought I turned the water off from downstairs because, you got like 3 or 4 different water things. And I had turned it off because my neighbor's kids had asked me, like back in the summer, if they could wet themselves up. And my answer was no, because I got to pay this water bill by myself, And I said, I'm sorry, but I can't let you water yourself down, But when the plumber came out, he followed the pipes out. Up under my stairs, I had my hose, which I never take inside. And it was down on my deck, down to the floor. Up under there, it must have been an ice block about this big, hanging down from the hose. So I said, well, he said, this could be, your hose was never turned off. So that's why I agreed to pay it. But I'm like, I didn't have any other choice, to my knowledge that, so, but I was like, I don't know where I was gonna get the money from, but I agreed to pay that 126, but I thought it was like every 3 quarters.
So there's no balance on the account as of 12/31?
Yeah.
That was clear.
And then this says on the 22nd, I have a shut off, So, yeah. It said the 22nd of June, which would be what, Tuesday?
But at the start of this year, you were paid in full. This $2,000 is
Yeah,
a period
Yeah.
in the last.
yeah. I never, I paid for my pension, all my bills, and the water bill was like, no, not really that high. 58, maybe 85 at the most. And I would come here and pay it every time I had to pay it. And then I started getting these. So I didn't know where the leak was. So I called the plumber. He looked all through the house, but that's the only thing he could find out. So I don't know if it was my fault or what.
Yeah, I would propose, I'll sit down with Josh and see what the history and look at what the payment agreement is. I think typically it's kind of once a month, but it depends on the situation. In some cases, there's only so long we typically would go on a payment plan, but I don't know the specific details of this, but, you know, we try to get something that is certainly within the reach of the customer to be able to pay it. But they are responsible to keep up with the regular water bill as well and, you know, pay off whatever that balance is. So, you know, I will sit down with the customer service team and see how we can work that plan in a better way to try to avoid the shut off that we're talking about.
Do you have enough time to do that before the 22nd?
Yeah, I'll talk with Josh tomorrow.
Sir, could you write your phone number on, could you write your phone number by your name?
Okay.
I can, yeah, there you
You'll be hearing from somebody in customer service.
go. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Good luck with it. I hope it gets resolved.
Yeah.
Is there?
We have, second, is that an Arthur too? You don't want to talk, speak?
Let's move down.
Moral support. Good friend, yeah.
Can I have these 5 minutes?
That's not. But, Jared is,
Jared?
Yeah.
Jared?
Yeah.
Floor is yours.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Great to see everyone. I'm not even gonna say the F word this whole speech. So everyone just calm down. I'm not gonna say it. Cause I've been seeing a lot of Erie Waterworks like drinking fountains that I've been drinking out of. I like those. I've been seeing a lot of good Erie Waterworks press on the news, various community things. So I like all that. So I'm not even gonna say the F word. I also liked how Mr. Seth Trott is the Democratic president now. Cause he was always very helpful with me whenever I had any questions with him on the water thing. So I've been independent for 12 years, but I might join the Democrats just cause Seth's president. And that's true. And, one issue I have is that these meetings are at 3:30. Like, why are they at 3:30? Like, does anyone think, oh, it's a good time? Like, people work 9 to 5, do they not? Like, I'm sure most of you guys have kids, like, not to be funny, but you were late because there's traffic and there's construction, like, it's not a good time. So if we could maybe look into that or at least explain why they are at 3:30. And I will actually yield the balance of my time after I thank Ms. Shaw for being here because she was up really late. We all were, but she's still here because she's a fighter. So thank you to her as well. But yeah, I yield the balance of my time for you guys to tell me why these meetings are at 3:30.
The one thing I would say is when you are joining a board, you need to consider your schedule and what works for you. Other people may have opportunities to join other boards, but that schedule may not fit for them. So I know that was one factor for me, being on other boards, that this time actually did work for me, where it was at another time, I would not have been able to be part of this board.
Thank you.
Jared, I'm not sure that there's no perfect time to hold these meetings. And I changed my schedule so I can be here at 3:30.
You're a morning guy.
Well, yeah, probably. But yeah. And I think it's a tried and true time because for 9 years, I've came here at 3:30 on Thursday for the board meeting. And it works for the people that are here. And I hope it works for the community. And if it's important enough, you just might have to adjust your schedule and.
Yeah, sure.
And I don't mean you, but whoever has an issue with us.
Yeah, thank you, Al. We wanted to tickle my father.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
And, but it's been this way for my 8.5 years and probably way beyond. And try to accommodate.
And I appreciate that. And I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but I do have to leave. So thank you. Great seeing everyone. Thank you for the work that you do.
All right.
That includes everyone.
Thank you. Kathy? For us?
No,
I met with Mr. Gilmore yesterday. He stopped by and I talked with him and I always say, if you need something extra, come to the meetings.
I had, just quick, a friend of mine who had a toilet in the basement. And it didn't take long before he had a 500 call. So if you have a fixture in the house that's leaking and you don't know it, it can get up there in a hurry. And it's a shame that it happens. And I think the person I'm talking about even got contacted by the water department to say, hey, something's going on because there's a lot of water.
Do we have a pre?
An alert system.
Yeah, do we have anything like that? Does that exist?
Well, if we replace every single meter with smart meters, and that is the next wave of technology. We've got a lot of meters. So to do that all in one fell swoop is a big chunk of change. However, that technology is fantastic. You know, it will detect abnormal usage and alert you, send you a text, things like that. Paul V at his place in Myrtle had something similar. He would get alerts and things like that. So in some cases too, there's meters that will actually, you can remotely shut them off as well. If, for example, there's totally high usage and there's an issue, you know, and so the technology is there, but, I imagine sometime in the future we'll be getting into that.
Is there anything in the billing system?
So what happens, yeah, they do, there are things that are flagged, so the meter, and we do quarterly readings.
Right.
So if it's, you know, if a problem happens at the beginning of a quarter, you know, it's not gonna be picked up. A lot of times toilet leaks, other things, you can hear them, you can see them, sometimes you can't. So that's essentially.
Do customers have the ability to get us, like, pay for a smart meter for the install? Say it's a snowbird, who are going out in Florida for 6 months. They want to make sure.
We don't have that option. You know, the smart meter technology comes along with a lot of other things like software and expensive software. And these days, everything is software as a service. You're not just buying it. Oh, now we're good. You're paying every year for it. And so what ended up happening with smart meters is the dynamic of your meter department changes. You go from needing less readers and things like that, and more IT related assistance, more data type analysts and people to manage that software package. Again, it's one of the biggest emerging technologies in the water industry right now. So
I'm just surprised you can't put something inside the house, past the main. That would, just the consumer can work with a third party to detect irregularity in water.
yeah, I think there are some things but I don't know a lot about. Yeah, come up with something. Yeah, just already thinking.
Okay, that's the end of our public comment session. That's going to take us to Mr. Palmer and the CEO.
Yes, so, Kim, I think it's on the board, was just the agenda, not the whole packet. But I don't have that to show here right now at the moment, but relative to CEO report, I'm sorry, Kim, my bad. Oh no, that's it. It's just a one pager. Anyway, we'll get into the CEO report. So first off, a couple things, an update on our TAP 814 initiative, which I'll do right after this. But our crews or folks went to Iroquois Elementary for a Careers on Wheels event, May 22nd, and just had a good time interacting with kids. So, you know, we have opportunities like this come up here and there, and when we're contacted and we can make it, we try to do that. But last month, Cheryl had asked, hey, what's going on with your TAP 814 initiative? And so this is an update of that. And so if you don't know, one of the things that this board, kind of tasked me with during the interview process 2.5+ years ago is how are we going to kind of educate our consumers more, get out there in the public. Cheryl Rushdick specifically said, how are we going to explain to people how we're not Flint? And not just not Flint, but really good, right? Terrific tap water. And so this initiative was launched in conjunction with PAPA Advertising. That's who we partnered with on this. And so we are the regional water supplier. And so that TAP 814 really we thought made sense to represent. And so that TAP 814, the idea is that TAP 814 and QR code will be everywhere. And so we want to raise awareness about our tap water and promote refillable bottles, okay, to avoid environmental impacts. Bottled water, there's 60 million bottles thrown away every day. They are, probably the leading cause of microplastics and things in our water. So the idea is to promote tap, right? And so refillable fountains are more and more prevalent everywhere you go. In most of these instances, we're branding around fountains that exist. But if there does not exist, we'll work with them to get a fountain installed. The Manufacturers Association, this is the first one we did. When I first became CEO and started going to events there, they had no fountain access. Everything was bottled water. And I said, hey, we're members, where's the tap water? How about a fountain? And so now at their events, they have not bottled water anymore. They have, big things that they're dispensing water, and they've changed their whole process. But so this was the first fountain installed. And the idea is you brand and you do something that integrates where you're at, the host, right? So the NBA, you have some automation involved. We integrated their color scheme with ours. And so the common theme is always going to be clearly better water. So this says, the secret tool our businesses have, clearly better water. And then there's always a fun fact. And for the most part, they're different. In this case, again, it's catered to where we're at, that we boast an abundant supply of untapped capacity, making our region's growth potential limitless. So when you scan the code, it launches you to TAP 814 on our website. It really focuses on some key points of the value proposition of our water, the quality, the value, public health and safety, infrastructure investment, and our team. And so, so that was the first installation. It happened in January 2025. The next 2 installations, this is the first of 2 at the Erie International Airport. They had fountains, and we don't pay for space. Okay, obviously we pay to get these installed and things like that. But I'll give kudos to the airport and Derek because pretty much every space on the wall in the airport is ad space and people pay for it. But they partnered with us and said, yes, you can do this. So these are the smaller installs. We have the big, we have the small. So this is more the kind of the plaque. All these designs, there's airplanes, there's water themes, again, using their colors, our colors, and shared themes. Erie's best kept secret is plain to see. And then the fun fact that we're held to higher standards of regulation and treatment than bottled water. Thanks, Jeff. The second install, Erie's secret for nonstop adventure, clearly better water. 60 million plastic water bottles thrown away every single day. Okay, what's next? Our administration building. We did that right out in our lobby in May of 2025. And, but that design really worked well. We started to integrate some new things here with like Sigsbee Caretaker, the Wojciechowski Dome, Chestnut Tower, things like that. We started getting a little bit more involved in some of those designs. And then our most recent installs, we went a little bit bigger with Gannon. There were lots of opportunities throughout, and there's lots of visitors on that campus. So, the Rec and Wellness Center, it's not just for students and staff, members of the public can go there. So in this case, we integrated, Victor, their night, and they have initiatives on recycling and environmental consciousness. And so it really worked well. And so, fun fact there, the next install was at the Palumbo Academic Center, which is also really neat as well. Victor, again, facts on, hey, just if you stop using plastic bottles, you'll save over at 150 a year. The next one is a small install. It's at Waldron campus outside the Yale Ballroom. There's lots of public events there. The Jefferson has events there, things like that. And so in this case, it's the secret to building a legacy that lasts, clearly better water, and the 60 million plastic water bottle fact in that location. This is at the IHAC, which is totally awesome. You get out of the elevator, and this is what you see. It's their maker space. It's where technology happens. And that's why we came up with this pretty cool design, right? It's kind of the concept to fruition. And we actually worked with the, Gannon students to make sure that all this made sense, like that this is how you would do it, this is what you do. So they made some changes, suggestions, and we think that one really turned out nicely. And again, it takes water to make, the footprint of water is huge, whether you're talking about making burgers or jeans or any product. And so this puts into perspective how much water it takes to make bottled water, far more than you think. And finally, the last installation, it's not yet done. They're waiting to get this piece installed, but this is at the Highmark Event Center. Go through the front doors, walk right by it to get to the basketball court. And so that gets a lot of visitors as well. And so again, really interesting facts about it. So yeah, the opportunity with Gannon really opened itself up and took up a bit of our time and resources. But what's next? We have plans. And so there's lots of other places we want to put these, right? But I didn't put anybody's name here unless we've already talked and got agreement. So we've been working with Erie Events. We're planning a couple fountains at the convention center, Erie Insurance Arena, and UPMC Park. So again, I'm really excited about those. Everybody's going to see that. And so we're working real hard to get the convention center ones installed before the PMA conference. They're handing out reusable water bottles with a slip of paper in it explaining what our TAP 814 program is. So we'll be getting that done. And then we spoke with the mayor about doing some branding around the Perry Square fountain, and potentially something in the lobby at City Hall. They don't have really good access to that for visitors. Asbury Woods in the future and many others. We want to be where really the most people are, but I know we have plans to work with some other entities in the future, whether it's the Booker T. Washington Center, Martin Luther King, lots of, the Erie Art Museum. It'd be cool to commission an artist to actually do an art piece around it, right? So we have a lot of ideas, but, we're, kind of doing it in a measured way, right? There's not limitless resources. And so, pretty excited about it, hearing a lot of people comment on it, reach out to me, hey, I saw the fountain. And again, this is not an original idea. Louisville Water has over 100 branded fountains in public spaces, and that's where we got the idea. So we borrowed it. Their designs are all different. So we have more continuity in the themes, the illustrations, it's always clearly better water, all those things are, so it's just recognizable for wherever you go, wherever you see it. So that's what's going on with TAP 814, and we'll be, evaluating, the traffic, the website that comes from that and seeing how that evolves over time as well. So, and we keep the facts on the TAP 814 updated, whether it's the dollars for grant and the lead removal, employees, whatever that is, we keep it fresh. So that's the TAP 814. Before I move on to the remainder, are there any questions? I see Cheryl's face.
Well, just to thank you for the follow through, and for some of us, it's a big deal to make the invisible visible and to keep it in the public conversation and the vision. And this looks like a very effective way, one very effective way to keep our visibility up. And I want to say thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl. Appreciate it. Yep. Some hard copies in case anybody wanted to stare at them tonight and get thirsty or something.
I do plan to sleep later.
Second fun fact, Jeff's out. So that is that CEO report.
Can you
What?
can you go back to the member resources and then
Yep.
refresh?
But next up, just stakeholder engagement. I did meet with new township supervisor in Mill Creek, Dr. Kylie Morris, as well as Tim DeCastro and some of his team. Tim had asked for a tour of the water treatment plant. And so we were able to do that. I thought I did, Kim, but and so then just industry engagement wise, we hosted the PMA Region 8 meeting in Asbury Woods last week. We had our biggest crowd yet. And we had 5 or 6 authorities registered, and we had lots of other friends there. We opened up our Asbury pump station. Everybody was impressed with that, and nice overall event. Representative Harkins spoke about a lot of his initiatives, and so we appreciate him doing that. So you have in front of you also the Authorities magazine from PMA. It features, it's all about the conference. It's got the schedule. It's got a great article on page 6 or 7 by me. Okay, maybe it's not great, but it's informative. It's kind of the history of the waterworks, present day, and where we're going. Take a look if you have some time or want to put you to sleep, Jeff. And so, we're gearing up for the conference. We're, trying to get fireworks sponsors, and you will see the schedule. We'll be considering at the next committees the possibility to maybe shift the committee meetings a day so that the board has an opportunity to take part in the sessions that Tuesday. There's kind of some sessions that would conflict that might be of interest, but we'll, just putting that out there. We might look at that Wednesday or a Monday to have a committee meeting instead.
So CEO, if you let me in, I will hand you my computer, which has.
You will do what? We're in live.
There, I turn my mic on. I can share my screen and give you my computer, which has the report you're looking for.
Oh, okay. So
You don't have to do anything. You just need to let me in what you did. Okay.
perfect. And then this Saturday, I'll be headed to DC for the American Waterworks Association Conference. Going in early because AMWA board always meets Saturday evening. The board meeting is Sunday at noon, and so then the conference begins. So great way to spend Father's Day for water. Apparently, water doesn't even stop for Father's Day, so that's okay. And that is my report. Happy to answer any questions this time.
Talked to a couple people that have done that Erie ambassadors. I think we talked about that last meeting.
Oh, yeah.
both of them said that the waterworks, the Wasilewski plant was by far the coolest.
Favorite. Yeah, so the chamber does the Erie ambassadors. They had over 30 participants this time, and they take them around Erie behind the scenes and show them things. So, you know, we did an in-depth tour of the Wasilewski plant, you know, did a PowerPoint, kind of explained the history of the waterworks. So, yeah, when people see that and understand kind of how we got where we are, they're always amazed at what happens to get the water to the tap, you know, so.
And I have one thing to add to what
Mhm.
Ryan just said is, I was with Craig and when Tim DeCastro came. And he was actually taking still photographs and a couple videos of the operations inside. And I just was a little surprised that, you know, he's taking pictures of this stuff.
Is he allowed to?
What's that?
Is he allowed to?
Yeah, there are certain things, like even with the ambassadors, you know, when there's
Yeah.
kind of the boards that show our chemical tanks and things like that, like, no, those are no-nos, but like, take a picture of the filter or whatever else, yeah, that's fine, people love that.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean, I was surprised.
Mhm. He was real interested, and I appreciate the opportunity to show him and his team that, so.
That is great.
That's it, sir.
Good job. That's gonna take us to our finance committee and Mr. Pallad.
Next, we had a finance committee meeting on June 16th. It was myself, Ms. Jones, Mr. Wagner, and Mr. Bergquist from the board, Chief Palmer, and Ms. Valerio there from the Erie Waterworks. The revenue expenditure report, the May revenues were 3.8 million or 92% of budget. Expenditures, including the debt service, were 4.1 million or 93% of budget. The deficit was at $129,000 versus the budget, $112,000. The year-to-date total revenues are at 20.7 million or 95% of budget. The year-to-date expenditures, including debt service, were at 20.2 million or 96% of budget, thus having a surplus of 524,000. Slightly below the budgeted surplus of 659,000. The debt coverage is still strong at 124% and remains above the requirement of 120%. As of May 31st, 2026, the total accounts receivable balance was 5.7 million, which is $100,000 decrease from the previous month. And as of May 31st, 2026, approximately 4.3 million was invested in the water system. May's current funded relating to planned future expenditures reflects a negative balance of 730,000. And we have a few resolutions ahead of us here. Award of bid for high performance cold patch, a purchase agreement for 217 West 11th Street, and ratification of staff monthly invoices were all discussed then. And then the check register, the commercial and Penvest check register through May 2026 were reviewed. Questions? Moving forward to the first resolution. Resolution number 061826-01. Resolved by the Board of the Erie Waterworks that the Chief Executive Officer is authorized to enter the contract with the following company as detailed on the attached bid tabulation sheet. Bid number 22606, high performance cold patch, Russell Standard, Valencia, PA. This resolution authorized the award to the lowest responsible bidder. This is the recommendation of the Finance Committee, and I so.
Second.
Questions?
Ms. Harrington,
Yes.
Mr. Hilliard,
Yes.
Yeah.
Mr. Trot,
Yes.
Mr. Wagner,
Yes.
Mr. Willis.
Yeah.
Mr. Berkowitz,
Yes.
Ms. Day.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to page 12 in a very exciting resolution. Resolution number 061826-02, resolved by the Board of the Erie Waterworks that the Chief Executive Officer's execution of the attached agreement for the sale of commercial real estate is hereby ratified and approved. Chief Executive Officer is hereby authorized to take all necessary steps to set forth in the agreement to purchase the property located at 217 West 11th Street, Erie, PA 16501, including the execution of all necessary closing documents. Explanation. The purchase of the property is necessary to accommodate growth of staff, material, and equipment. Currently at 240 West 12th Street, the property and building will satisfy the immediate need for additional parking, inventory storage, as well as office space. This is a recommendation of the CIP committee, and I so move.
Second. Any questions?
Go ahead. Finance committee. I wrote it as written. And I'm sure that's my first two.
Any questions? Okay.
Who was my second?
So,
So. Okay, Kim?
Mr. Hilliard,
Yes.
Mr. Pilatus,
yes.
Mr. Trot,
Yes.
Mr. Wagner,
Yes.
Mr. Willis,
Yes.
Mr. Berkeley,
Yes.
Ms. Dix.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to page 27. Erie Waterworks ratification of staff payment of monthly invoices, resolution number 061826-03. Resolve that the board of the Erie Waterworks ratifies the staff decision to make payments of invoices during the month of May 2026. The finance committee received and reviewed a list of checks and electronic fund transfer that were processed during the month of May. The finance committee hereby recommends board ratification of the staff decision to make payment of these invoices, and I so move.
Second.
Second.
Any questions? Hearing none, Kim?
Mr. Pilatus,
Yes.
Mr. Trot,
Yes.
Mr. Wagner,
Yes.
Mr. Willis,
Yes.
Mr. Berkeley,
Yes.
Ms. Dix.
Yes.
Harrington,
Yes.
Mr. Hilliard.
Yes.
And that concludes the business of the finance committee.
Thank you, Mr. Pilatus. That's going to take us to the capital improvement committee and Mr. Willis.
All right. Chairman. Capital Improvements Committee, we had the attendees of myself, Mr. Wagner, Mr. Trot, and then from Erie Waterworks staff, Mr. Palmer, Mr. Ellsworth, and from KLH Engineers, Mr. Horvath. May financials, Erie Waterworks spent a little over $1.2 million on capital projects, while pay-go equaled to just over 51,000. And the total investment for the month was almost $1.3 million. And for the year thus far, almost $4.3 million. So really kicking off in a construction season at the moment with the weather finally breaking. In terms of project updates, the 6B pump station, we're still in a state there where we're getting material and equipment submittals being reviewed and approved. Service connection replacement phase 3 is approximately 43% of the way complete from a construction effort scenario, and the specific numbers are listed below. The service connection phase 4 is approximately 72% completed from a construction effort scenario, and the specific numbers are also listed in the report. I won't bore you with them. The customer side phase 1 and customer side phase 2 have now kicked off, relatively 10%-ish on one and just under 4% on the other for completion. And then phase 3 and phase 4 is expected to initiate in July and September. Again, I mentioned at the beginning of the year that there could be an option that we could have all the actual lead out of those systems in replacement phase 3 and phase 4, maybe by the end of the year, and they would all be mostly customer side galvanized from that point on. The south booster tank storage. Erie Waterworks executed the real estate purchase agreement and is working with the seller and their lender in terms of releasing the parcel from the loan collateral. And the subdivision plans were approved and signed by the Summit Township Planning Commission. So Erie County Planning and Summit Township Supervisors are all allowing us to move forward. And then the 12th Street Facility Building Improvements project was advertised for public bid, and the bid open is scheduled for June 30th. And the real estate purchase that was just approved by the board will help
facilitate that.
There are no resolutions for the CIP committee, and that concludes my report. Any questions?
Any questions? Thank you, Mr. Willis. HR committee, and that'll be Mr.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. The attendees for the meeting was myself, Ms. Harrington, Mr. Pilatus, Mr. Wagner, and from the EWW Waterworks staff, Mr. Palmer and Mrs. Stafford. All right, so the Human Resources Report, employment activity. We have had one new hire, which was a GIS analyst, and one internal promotion. There were 2 separations, and as that recruitment efforts are in progress for a laborer, maintenance and project coordinator, customer service representative, operations supervisor, plant operator, and a lab technician. So quite a few positions open, and recruitment efforts are currently in effect. From our collective bargaining agreement activity, Teamsters Local 397, I always have trouble saying this word, amicability resolved in agreements to mediation. AFME Local 2206. We are meeting in June to discuss 2 grievances that were abeyance during negotiations. And then also our department updates. We met with our insurance broker, which was the hub for the end-year review of 2025 and mid-year review for 2026. So we discussed high-cost claims, trends in both plan use and benchmarks, and identified some training opportunities for the staff. The administration managing annual performance evaluations were completed. Staff also received an in-person presentation on new 457B option, workplace conduct trainings. And then we also provided for the strategic plan, the focus groups. Some community engagement. We celebrated Drinking Water Week and participated in 2 community events. And safety reports and training. So there's accident and workplace injury data. In 2026, there were 2 vehicle accidents and 3 workplace injuries, which one was recordable. A forklift and crane trainings were conducted by our environmental health and safety manager. A review process of subcontractors' safe work plans and excavation trenching work permit were piloted to improve documentation and ensure consistent monitoring and implementation procedures. And number 4, the Erie Fire Department toured the Chestnut Water Street plant and Cherry Pump Station to assist with emergency preparedness. And then finally, on June 17th, Erie Waterworks will participate in the National Trench Safety and stand down with a training and reinforce safe work practices. OSHA Compliance Assistant Specialist Mark Harmon is scheduled to attend our event. What do we have here? I don't think there's any resolutions, but I did want to say one thing. You know, specifically from a safety perspective. You know, I know that that seems like a lot of injuries, but to be honest with you, for the work that we do, I'm proud to say I think we do a great job in regards to safety, and I want to congratulate Craig and his team for making safety very important for our employees because it's not easy what we do, jumping in the trenches and doing all kinds of other hazardous work. I just want to congratulate Craig and his team on the importance of safety and keep up the good work. That concludes my concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Hilliard. That's going to conclude the Human Resources Committee and Pension Plan Committee. Mr. Berquist.
Sure, I can provide a quick update. We met earlier this month. Couple updates. So Emily Spangler, she was reappointed. Thought that was going to be the last time we saw her in February. She is back, representing Ashme. So good to have her back. Sean Sullivan went through the quarterly results. Results were pretty consistent overall with the benchmark. We did see more positive performance from Northwest for Q1. So again, just keep in mind, this is through March 31st. Versus 1865. So Travis attended the meeting representing 1865. He provided data through April, not March, but he did subsequently send the March results. So don't think that was.
His April numbers were a lot better than March.
Pretty nice in April. Not so great in March. But again, that's why we have two different advisors. Otherwise, a few more meetings ago, we voted to move on from Definity and have USI be kind of the plan actuary for the waterworks. So Jen and the team continue to go through that. I think the hope is that with all the info from Definity that we can expect a transition here shortly, and then they're going to review the portal with management sometime in the fall. Call it. I think they were targeting October, but won't hold to it. And I think that's everything I wanted to cover, unless there's questions. There's minutes from the prior meeting on the subsequent pages, but those are a bit stale now.
I have a question.
Yeah.
The employee portal is meant to give employees an estimate of their earned benefit thus far.
Yeah, so previously they used to have to go to Jen for basically all estimates. And the plan is complicated, and Definity had a great concept or, great understanding of the plan.
Okay.
And accuracy. So that is just one purpose of it. I think there's many more modeling.
Yeah, you can look at, you see what your contributions are today. And you'll run some scenarios yourself, but basically giving employees access to their information on here. Yeah, so it's a nice feature. And for us, it helps for tracking and other things. So administratively, there's a benefit, and then with employees, there's a benefit.
Yeah, when I was on GE pension, we also had a similar web tool. But the disclaimer was on there that this is just an estimate.
And it'll say that because it has to be done by an actuary, right?
Yeah.
And so that is true.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure we weren't signing up for any liability.
No, negative.
Thank you, Mr. Berquist.
Mr. Wagner.
That's going to take us to old business, and I don't believe there is any. Which will take us to the solicitor's report, Mr. Wagner.
Thank you, sir. From the period of the last meeting till today, or the other day, yesterday, we did submit applications with the Department of Community and Economic Development to have approval of the debt offerings for Penvest funding the galvanized service line replacement project phase 5 in West 12th Street maintenance facility renovation and distribution system programmatic financing, which is the Pro 5. We were unable to submit those until this Monday due to delays in the Erie Times News providing us with the publication with the required advertising needed to be a part of the package. Those came on. With respect to the water treatment plant $10 million multiple drawdown loan and the $5 million taxable revolving line of credit, we received the credit approval from the bank last week. I had a call with the bank yesterday. We anticipate adopting resolutions here authorizing the debt at the July meeting. And there's been a tentative closing date scheduled for the day after the July meeting. I believe it's July 17th at 9 a.m. Mr. Wagner, we would ask you to be available and I believe, Cheryl as well as Dix. If you're unavailable to be there that night, we can get things pre-signed at the meeting that day on the 16th. With respect to the.
Understood.
Thank you, ma'am. With respect to the forever chemical litigation, it's one of my favorite days of the year is when I get to deliver a check to a client. I gave Ms. Wertz a check for $844,421.60. She and I decided that we were going to take a trip to Europe, but nonetheless got deposited before that, unfortunately. Thus far, our totals and delivery from the PFAS litigation has been about $5.3 million. We would anticipate payments the third quarter of every year between now and 2033 to continue to receive those from the settlements that have been received. How much each one of those payments will be, I do not yet know, but we'll wait with bated breath. And then during the course of the last month, I've reviewed and approved various contracts and continuing working on the lead satisfactions, the fish hatchery building, which I have a meeting scheduled with the attorney for the Port Authority to discuss that, and then participating in various operational planning meetings with Mr. Paul.
Has our right to know request volume gone down?
Yes.
Dramatically.
What?
I had a question, if I may,
Sure, Cheryl, go ahead.
concerning the PFAS settlement. Do you have a sense of how similarly situated organizations have planned for, encumbered, or strategized around the around that line of income?
When you say strategize around, you mean, what are they doing with it?
Yes. What do they plan or envision? Doing with that? How does that how does that settlement become ameliorative?
Sure.
Make things better, something like that.
The settlement itself does not dictate how the money is spent. Many utilities that received money from the settlement are using it for PFAS removal. We had one hit in the past 10 years, and that hit was not above the maximum contaminant level, but it put us in the running to qualify for money. If we have to treat for PFAS, this is not enough money. It just isn't. It's probably 10 times that at one water treatment plant, probably in the range of 50 million or so. And so we continue to monitor for PFAS. And so we are setting that money aside and doing some, kind of midterm investments, highest interest rate we can receive, while also keeping it fairly liquid. So with this money, we'll be looking again at what the best rates are. So the intent is to let that fund grow. Ultimately, if we have PFAS, and I think we need more time to evaluate that. I think it's just far too early to say, yep, we don't have it. We'll never have it. And so let's spend it on other things. What it does do is it does help with our, consideration for cash and days on hand, things that, metrics financially that we want to improve, so that if or when we need to go to the bond market again, or a rating agency rates us again, we'll be in better position with some of those metrics, whether it's, debt service coverage, cash on hand, those things to improve our position. So we haven't formally designated it as PFAS use only, but we are setting it aside to do that. And there will be no use of it without, this board's permission, we'll say. So in terms of what others are doing with it, and I think many are using it, and others are probably doing what we're doing, setting it aside for kind of the if or when you need it for PFAS treatment.
So if I may follow up just briefly, do you have maybe a timeline for considering how you might use it in a targeted way or plan for it in the future? Notwithstanding the fact that it doesn't reach, it doesn't look like a resource that that's in the order of magnitude of the potential problem. However, if this is, an indication that a considerable sum is coming forward, best use of it has to be strategic. And I just wondered if that's something that's considered or planned for, that process is in a near term on the landscape at all.
Yeah, I would say there is not, from my perspective, a definitive plan on what to do if we don't need it for PFAS. Certainly, any cash-funded projects would offset a need for, whether it's a rate increase or offset a need for Penvest loans or things like that. So, if I asked my team what they want to do with that money, I'm sure I would have lots of ideas. But at this point, Cheryl, really our focus is, setting it aside, earning interest, growing that fund. And I think as things progress, we'll start looking a lot closer at that with the board.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Further, Mr. Wagner.
That's it, Tim? Thank you. And that's going to take us to new business, and I don't think there is any, correct? Nothing.
No, sir.
So that'll take us to an adjournment.
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
You too.